Your chances of winning the lottery are 1 in a million, but for some people who like to shop for second-hand goods, they often strike it gold. Here are a few more people who turned their trash into treasure. 14. Fit as a fiddle. In 2013, a man found a violin in the trash, and one can only imagine the story behind how it got there. He decided to have it appraised, since he knew nothing about instruments. Well, lo and behold, it turns out that this violin was made by one of the most famous Italian violin makers of all time, Guiseppe Pedrazzini. According to the appraiser, the violin was worth about $50,000 and just needed to be cleaned. 13. Look and you will find. A painting bought for $50 at a local trinket store had a special place chosen for it, and it was to be hung on a kitchen wall. Just before hanging, the owner wanted to pull off the brown paper that hid the back of the artwork. The mother told her to hang on a bit, as there was a little label sticking out. They decided to get the painting appraised, and it happened to be a piece stolen in 1951, which was the famous paysage boards design by Pierre-Auguste Renoir. It was worth $100,000. No mention if the family got some kind of compensation, but the painting was returned to its rightful place. 12. Hidden talent. British businessman Andy Fields probably thought it was destiny when he discovered a painting from Andy Warhol hidden behind something he bought for $5 at a garage sale in Vegas in 2010. His namesake made the drawing when he was about 10 years old, and today it's worth roughly $2 million. 11. Breaking the cycle. In 2010, a man bought a bike at a garage sale for $5, as he thought it looked expensive, even though it had flat tires and was a little worse for wear. This bike was blown off a truck in 2008 and landed on the side of the road. Turns out this was a custom-made bicycle which belonged to disgraced cyclist Floyd Landis, who lost his 2006 Tour de France title due to doping. Landis then blew the lid on Lance Armstrong, which eventually led to his fall from grace. 10. A rotten apple. A woman in mourning who decided to clean out the garage after her husband died anonymously dropped off an entire box of junk at an e-waste facility in Northern Carolina. If only this passionate recycler was as passionate about technology. She unknowingly dropped off a piece of Apple history when she dumped one of the 200 first-generation computers designed in 1976 by Steve Jobs and his partner. They sold it to a private collector for $200,000. If you are the lady who dropped off this box, your cut of 50% is still waiting for you. 9. The right frame of mind. Most Americans know the Declaration of Independence quite well, but in 1776, a handwritten copy was taken to a local printer in Pennsylvania, which was then reprinted in newspapers. In 1820, only 200 copies were commissioned, and a music technician from Nashville found one of these hidden behind a painting he had bought, only because he liked the frame. He ended up selling it for $477,000. 8. Putting all your cards on the table. We all know how difficult it is to find the right furniture for a small apartment, especially if you live in a metropolitan city like New York. A woman named Claire had this very problem and bought this table at a garage sale in New Jersey for $25. 40 years later, she decided to have it appraised and was shocked to learn that it dated back to 1794 and was made by a well-known Boston furniture maker. She sold it for an incredible $1 million. 7. Lucky fish. A fisherman who clearly believed in good luck got exactly what he was hoping for when he got his anchor stuck on a 34-kilogram pearl just off the coast in the Palawan Islands in the Philippines. To him, there was nothing fishy about this find, and he kept this as a good luck charm under his bed for 10 years. Little did he know that he was sleeping on $100 million. 6. Finders keepers. This 4-post bed was dumped on a parking lot by contract workers who were renovating a hotel in Chester, England. A man who must have been a Game of Thrones fan spotted the bed and bought it for £2,200. If I pay this much for something in a parking lot, it better have wheels and drive me somewhere. To make a long story short, this man had the bed's DNA tested and established that it dated back to 1486 and belonged to King Henry. It was valued at $20 million. 5. It's your lucky day. Alexander Calder was a famous and very influential American sculptor. He produced a lot of jewelry in his time as well, and this particular piece was displayed in the New York Museum of Modern Art back in 1943. It somehow went missing and wound up in a Philly flea market. A lady called Norma purchased it and fell in love with it. She wore it to an art exhibition where she discovered the truth about it and sold it at auction for $267,750. 4. A cat has 9 lives. There is a reason why cats get 9 chances in life, because they are clumsy, wild, cute, adventurous, and they rule the internet. A family from Cornwall in England had a garage sale and sold everything except this cat. Since they were probably dog people, they threw this bronze statue in the trash. Luckily, a cat person came along and retrieved this Egyptian artifact dating back to between 500 and 700 BC, when this cat had its first life. It was bought by a London dealer for £80,000. 3. Bond. James Bond. It's not every day you find a watch capable of detecting nuclear radiation. If it sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, then you're right. This watch was bought at a garage sale for $38 and was actually worn by Sean Connery in Thunderball. It sold for £160,175. 2. Not a rhino's cup of tea. This strange-looking cup was bought at a bargain store in Sydney, Australia for $4 in 2013. Turns out it is a 17th century Chinese liberation cup, carved from rhino horn. It sold for just under 80,000 Australian dollars. 1. Open happiness. Sometimes it is incredible to believe how much power there can be in one document. It is just a piece of paper covered in ink after all, but wars have been started and stopped with documents, and families torn apart. In 2008, a man from California bought a box of old documents for $5 at a neighborhood garage sale. He noticed there was a 1917 stock certificate where a company by the name of Palmer Union Oil merged with a company who then merged with Coke. This double merger apparently entitled him to 1.8 million shares, worth $130 million. Did you enjoy these incredible finds or have some of your own? Tell us about it in the comments section below and subscribe to our channel for more great videos just like this. Thanks for watching.